What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all had a good day off yesterday. It is always hard to switch gears right at the end of the week that way, but that is fine. We have some stuff to look at today. Let's take a look just to begin with the SPY. Okay, you're off 1.26% at 582. Some pretty substantial movement to the downside today. I think we're at 2-month lows here. Give me a second here. Yeah, so I mean, we're reaching right back that November kind of 6 area. And remember, this is kind of what we're talking about. Can this hold that 580 level? Today, it did kind of reject it a little bit. If this can move off, right, the rest of the day doesn't crack a little bit lower, I think we probably move back and attempt to do 600, at least in the SPY, because it seems like it has this kind of consolidation pattern right now. But you have a lot of stuff going on right now in the market that is kind of bringing this down a little bit. I mean, the jobs numbers being so strong and unemployment remaining, relatively steady, while to, I think, kind of the common person, that sounds great. Oh, fantastic. People are getting jobs. People aren't losing them, but this is not what the Fed is trying to do. Obviously, they look, at least for some increase in unemployment, to kind of cut in to inflation, essentially, right? Kind of strange, but it's how it works. And so that's very strong. Those are strong numbers, the non-farm payroll and unemployment rate. And what that kind of suggests is that you're not getting any more rate cuts from the Fed, at least in the upcoming meeting. And of course, the market is looking for that because capital is cheaper and people can build out and there's more gains to be made. So you're getting kind of this exit of, from equities to some extent, right? And you think, okay, so we go into, areas such as, like gold, for instance, right? Where we can kind of hedge ourselves against potential inflation, and, just a loss in holding equities, but you're barely even seeing that. I mean, it is up 1%. That is good, right? I mean, we're moving off from that like 2,600 area. We're at 2,717. But it's, you look at the miners, they're not doing anything. I mean, GDX is up 0.17%. I'm taking a look at some of our other ones. Take a look at Agnico Eagle. It's up 3% on there. I'm taking a look at VGZ as well. That's completely sideways. So, I don't know if gold can, if we keep exiting out of equities, right? And inflation stays a little bit stronger, you would like to see kind of a shift sector-wise into things like gold. And maybe you're kind of seeing that a little bit right now. It's pretty much too early to tell, I would say. But it just seems like there's not really anything stellar going on right now. So you have the SPY off 1.32% at 581. You have the composite off about 1.39% at 19,207. The Dow Jones Industrial off about 1.45% at 42,016. And that Russell is off bigly, as they would say, off about 2.23% at 2,203. The dollar exceptionally strong, up at 109.67, almost cracked 110 earlier today. And crude, wow. I mean, what a movement to the upside, especially for just a commodity that has been slumbering for quite a long time. You're trading right now up 76. At 76.60, up about 3.63%. Now, of course, you have some information. We had just imposed massive sanctions on Russian oil. Of course, oil isn't flowing through Ukraine any longer. Prices surpassing $80 a barrel. I mean, this is throwing a lot of wrenches into things. Additionally, especially with things like natural gas, get it moving up because we're having cold issues going on here in America. You have some of the natural gas bosses, essentially. We'll talk about all of this kind of stuff later in the show, but saying they need to basically increase the amount of money they receive in order to produce more natural gas. At least this is with shale. And if you want to go even further, it needs to be far higher. I think it's something around 466 or 10% more. And that's just to cue greater production of this kind of stuff. So you're getting some kind of like supply restrictions, at least in that realm. Obviously, with crude, you definitely are, especially considering what's going on with the Russian sanctions. So you have crude oil up 3.68% at 76.64. The gold contract up 0.97% at 2,716. You have copper taking a little bit of a breather today, off about 0.42% at $4.29 on that contract. Of course, you have silver as well, up 0.94% at 31.30. Yeah, I mean, your bonds yields are climbing. Let's see what I got for you here on that. I think we're at like 4.7 or something. Yeah, okay. 4.77 in the 10-year. You're at 5, over 5 in the 20-year, and then right under 5 at 4.96 in the 30-year. And again, it's this concept that you're going to have, you know, rates higher for longer. The inflation's still there. You have inflationary pressures coming in to the market, especially with Trump about to be inaugurated. You know, I think I'm not probably going to enter into any positions. Lots of like smaller companies I'm expecting just to kind of, you know, run due to whatever sector they're in, right? Like I'm looking at OPTX for that. But generally probably don't want to be like too active right now. I'm in cash for the most part, except for like my major holdings that I have in my personal account. And I just kind of want to wait to see what happens with Trump. You know, there's discussion, there's some leak going on that he's going to use the emergency powers, which allows the executive branch, or really just the president, to have complete control over imports to the U.S. While that, you know, is active. So, you know, and I'm not even sure he's going to do it, but the problem is that nobody's sure what's going to happen, and I just don't want to play some kind of losing end here. I mean, tomorrow in the SPY, you can get a reversal of what's going on, and we traverse back up to maybe, you know, 58.5 or 58.6, trying to get up, you know, back to 600. So, I don't know. I'm not making any like major plays right now, at least in like the Magna market. Take a look at Disney, they're off 0.8%. You have Celsius getting smoked, off 7.07%. Let's see, JPM off 1.28, Lucid up 2.52, you have Meta up 1.49. Tesla, they released actually a new style to the Model Y. They're trying to kind of revamp the appeal for it. This is kind of crazy. They're using the robo-taxi design, but at least in China, which is where this new model is active, they're selling it conversion cost. Now, obviously, you have to pay for renminbi if you're over there, but it's 35,000 USD. If that's true here, that could be pretty good for them. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.